Hi, everyone. Are we started?
I think so.
Okay. People are coming in the room. I'm sorry, my dog was barking in the back. Ace, he became famous during the pandemic as we did our weekly webinars. Ace showed up, I think, almost every other week on the
It
webinar. So
was it was a special guest star, I think.
I literally still hear from people when I see them at conferences or how's Ace doing? So that's my mini poodle, which is really nice. But welcome everyone to our Party Slate product showcase. As a little quick reminder, if you would, I would love to see where people are zooming in from. So you can go into your chat and put everyone, and we'd love to hear where people are coming from. I think last time we had people from like four different countries, 20 different
Yeah,
states. So we love that people are joining us from all over. I'm really excited to be here with Lillian and Lauren. Lillian is our VP of Operation and runs our customer success team, and Lauren is our VP of Marketing. And I've always wanted my own TV show, guys. Does this count?
yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think
we're getting closer to having it for real.
getting closer. We think we had over 600 people register for this webinar, and we're really excited to share what we are building next and what has launched. So Lillian, why don't we actually go to the next slide? I would love to hear where people are, what we know where people are zooming in from. If you can take out your phone, I know you're not multitasking, and you can scan the QR code, would love to know what type of business you run. We typically get a great mix of venues and planners and photographers and caterers, and entertainment from all over the country. So if you scan the QR code and you can pick one of those. We'd love to see who is joining us today. This kind of just this new tool we started using at our user conferences, and it's kind of fun just to see who's in the room. While we're
I love
waiting for
this.
this, um, Lillian, give me the 2-second overview of your background, and then I'm going to go to Lauren.
Yeah, so I've been with PartySlate for almost 2 years now, really focused
Can't
on,
believe it.
I know, time flies, truly. Focus on everything customer related, customer operations, customer success. And before I joined PartySlate, I actually had my own um, small business running events for corporates, specifically in the virtual world. So definitely very pandemic oriented, but it's great to be working in the industry again and a different side of it.
Great. And Lauren?
I don't even know if it's important what I did before because I've been here for more than 7 years, which is crazy and hard to believe. So my team does everything from these webinars that you're on currently with us right now to our in-person events. We had two user conferences already this year in LA and New York. Social media, we know everyone loves our Instagram. We love that everybody loves our Instagram. Email marketing, anything that you could really imagine, any of these touch points that help you really understand what PartySlate has to offer and what's new. That's coming from the marketing team. So we're excited to be on yet another webinar, and we have many more to come for you guys.
Great. Well, thank you guys for joining me. You're making my job a lot easier. So I'm going to do a little bit of the setup, how we got here. So it looks like we have a nice mix of planners and venues and caterers, design floral entertainment. And I'm looking at the chat right now. We have people from Miami, Philly, Florida, Texas, California, Atlanta, all over.
Bora Bora,
Oh, Bora Bora. We should have done
International.
that's the furthest, I
yeah,
think.
we should have done our webinar from Bora Bora. I'm very jealous.
Next webinar, we'll
Yeah,
do that
Next
next
there.
time.
webinar. All right, well, why don't we get started? I know there's a bunch more people coming. Let me just start by saying I started the company, I guess almost 10 years ago, 9, 10 years ago. I fell in love with the events industry from my very first party. I remember it so visually. I had in seventh grade. It was a roller skate, like a real roller skating party, which really dates me, not like roller blades, but roller skates. And many, many years later, after being planning events in college and in my early 20s, I fell in love with the digital space. I joined a digital agency, leaving my banking career behind, 20 plus years at razorfishagency.com. I always still loved events. I was doing recruiting parties, I was doing sales incentive trips, I was doing fundraisers, I was hiring the people on this call to help me produce my large scale corporate events. But this entire time, being a digital agency person, I kept thinking there needs to be a better way for me to find things that inspire me for all types of events, but also the perfect venue, the planner to help me. I was doing events all over the country. And it wasn't until I redesigned my kitchen using House, you may ask, why is that relevant? I redesigned my kitchen to use this platform called House, and became obsessed with this idea of how content can inspire, but content can also connect you with the right partner. So you find a venue page on PartySlate with all their real events, and I'm hosting a gala. And if I only see weddings on the hotel website, I might not be able to picture that this could be a place where I host my gala. So House is what really lit a fire. I felt like lightning struck after using it for about a year. And 4 short years later, after my kitchen redesign, I left my digital agency job to start PartySlate. And the goal, if you go to the next slide, it was really to create a place where content can be the currency of the industry. So content inspired me as a consumer to connect with venues and planners, but content can also help the professionals of this industry who are so incredibly talented and so hardworking to attract more clients, to engage more clients, and hopefully close more clients. So people know us as this front of house, partyslate.com. And that's where we started the business. But a year and a half ago, and you guys have seen our beautiful profiles. Mindy Weiss came on early to be an advisor to the company, which I really, really appreciate because I'll be honest, I didn't come from the industry. I was a client of yours, and Mindy taught me a lot about the industry, and as did many of you who helped me in the early days. So we were built, over, I don't know, 20,000 of these profile pages, and about 3,000 are paying for a premium membership, which we help boost you in the directory and give you our famous photo posting service, which is part of Lillian's team. But what we wanted to do is add more value with your photos. So what we built next, starting last year, is our back of house application. I'm using back of house because it's private, and it's so beautiful that sometimes I forget this area is private. But this is the area where you manage your profile, you see your analytics, and more importantly, you can search, share, and organize all of your photos, not just the photos that are on your public profile page. So I recently presented in California and New York on this new vision of the front of house and back of house. And I really want to emphasize that I know we're known for the marketing in the front of house, but the back of house, I am really geeking out about. And we're going to show you today all the back of house things you can do with your content. And we want to hear from you what you'd like us to build. So I'm excited to make this really interactive and fun. The last thing I wanted to mention is house, the front of house, the back of house. Lillian's team is really incredible at the support side. When I started PartySlate, I'm like, oh, the technology's so easy. We don't need a big support team. And I remember Mindy and others say, Julie, I'm doing events every night of the week. I don't have time to do all the organization. I need help. And so Lillian's team really helps with that hand holding for onboarding, getting your profile set up, the photo posting service, which is in 2 of 3 of our packages, and then really, really advising on how to optimize and view your analytics. So the support at PartySlate is something we've really, really built out under Lillian's leadership. So some exciting milestones. Over the last 12 months, we have helped 3.6 million people. These are consumers, are party hosts that had come to PartySlate looking for venues, looking for planners, looking for ideas. Our inquiries have increased 71% compared to last year. And 900 of the top venues and vendors in the country joined us in LA and New York for our user conference. Chicago, if anyone's interested in joining us, our Chicago user conference is July. I should know this. What's the date, Lauren?
29th. 29th,
July
and
29th.
we'll share more details at the end for anybody who would
Okay.
like to
And
join.
we are planning Miami, Texas, many in the works. So let us know if you're interested. And I'm really proud, and Lauren's team, shout out, we actually used our platform and our photo management to identify some of the top trending photos. We got quotes from people all over the country, top planners, top venues. And we launched our first book called Party Slate Weddings, along with our investor, Hearst Books, Hearst Media. What did I miss, Lauren?
Nothing, super exciting. And it's amazing that every month we have new things to share. So we'll see what this page looks like the next time we do this.
Yes. And see some people are interested in Texas, in Chicago. We're going to have a way you can reach out to us at the end of the webinar. So we're really excited. We have the front of house, we have our back of house, we have our support. Our goal is to help you grow your business in more than one way, starting with top of funnel, attracting, engaging. And I'm excited for Lillian as we give a demo to show more about these new tools and how we can help you efficiently grow your business.
Yeah, so let's talk about photo management. And I will say we've spent hundreds of hours talking to industry professionals about photo management and all the different challenges that you all face when it comes to managing your content. I mean, I've heard everything from my photos are all over the place. Maybe it's in PicTime links from different photographers. Maybe it's I have a team of 5 and everyone downloads photos directly to their desktop and the same photo is downloaded 5 different times. Maybe it's, I've been doing this for a very long time, but someone on my team who just joined may not know where every single event lives. It's really hard. We get it and we hear you. And I kind of want to take advantage of this moment though and hear from everyone here on what is your biggest challenge with photo management. And so if you take out your phones again, just like you did at the very start, scan that QR code and we want to hear from you. Is it curation of photos, deciding when you get 1,000 photos from a photographer, what are the top 30 to 50 photos that you actually need that's relevant? Is it organizing and tagging photos? I know some people who have a lot of different folders specifically focused on food photos, for example, or decor photos, for example, and it takes a lot of time to rearrange those photos. Is it hard to find old photos? Photos are scattered across multiple platforms. Partner credits are hard to track. Sharing photos with clients in a polished way takes time.
And I don't know if you can select more than one. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure
was
how
going
it's
to ask, can you select all of them? Because I've heard all of these.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, is I'm sure you would like to select more than one. It'll be really helpful for us to see what emerges as the top, but I'm sure many of you have many of these challenges.
And it's interesting actually right now. By a pretty big margin, it looks like organizing and tagging photos is one of, by 46%,
that's
way ahead of
crazy.
the other ones.
Well, I
Well, we're about
I
to
pick
share something that might help. Yeah.
I pick all of them. So, when I first started the business and we were building the profile pages kind of manually for the industry, it struck me that I would talk to some of these, really high-end hotels and I would ask them about photo management, and they would say things like, well, our intern is managing something called the S drive, like a local drive, not even cloud-based, and she left and we don't have the password. Like these are big brands, big hotels. And so what I
Yeah.
learned early on is that everyone has some flavors. And again, I'm taking photographers out of the mix. Photographers have their own platforms, they have a system that is their job. But once the links come to the venues and the planners, I've sometimes heard people say, well, my PartySlate profile is a great proxy for all my best events. So they use it that way. But then there's some events you don't want to share on your PartySlate profile, or you don't have the rights to share, but you still want it to be at your fingertips. And so I recognized this challenge very early on, and I just saw the Dropbox chaos and the local drive chaos. And I'd see folders within folders within folders. And then a new person comes and they're like, how am I supposed to know where that, sports bar mitzvah is when I only have worked here for 6 months and the person that was here for 10 years has left? And so it's that institutional knowledge challenge that I'm so excited we're solving this. I
Yeah,
really
there has to be
am.
a better way, right, Julie?
There
It,
has to
it
be a
can't
better
be
way.
like this.
Yeah.
And so, all right, it's pretty clear from this, organizing and tagging photos is a huge pain point. So what
Mhm.
I'm excited to show everyone is, there is a better way.
Mhm.
And when we think about the back of house, so the set of tools that Julie referenced, this is now a place where you can privately store, search, and share all of your photos all in one place. Now, this is private just for your team. It's a suite of tools that our product team has designed specifically for all of you based on the needs that we've heard. So there's no more scrambling for photo examples, no more disorganized Dropbox folders, no more messy PDFs or Google Slides, and all of this is AI enabled. So there's nothing that you have to do when it comes to manually tagging, manually sorting photos into, ballroom photos or food photos, cocktail photos. You don't have to do that anymore. AI on the back end does all of this for you, and we're going to show you exactly how in a few examples on our demo here. And so the thing is, we know you've all been there. I think, everyone on this call probably is feeling different versions of those pain points that we just talked about. We've talked to a bunch of venues where, you want to find that perfect photo on the venue tour, but it's really manual and messy. Let's say maybe you're a venue with outdoor space and your client is touring it in November. It's really hard for them to envision what that
Unless
foliage
you're in
looks like.
LA, unless you're in LA,
Unless
when
you're in
it's
LA,
beautiful,
that's true. I'm in
75 and
Chicago.
sunny.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
Chicago.
Or
Yeah.
Bora Bora.
Or
Yeah.
Bora Bora.
Yeah.
There are some on here for Advantage, perhaps in
Like I
November,
went to
but
San Diego early on and they're like, we don't have rain plans. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have rain plans? Like, it only rains once a year here. I'm like, what?
as a Chicago resident, hard for me to envision.
Yes.
But let's say you want to pull that perfect August photo, you can now do that with some of the tools that we have. Or on the flip side, let's say you have a ballroom with stacked furniture. Again, really hard for that person on that venue tour to envision what it looks like fully set up. In 2 seconds, you can now pull it and show someone what that looks like fully set up. If you're a planner or someone else, I know we have a lot of planners on this call. Maybe you're sitting at a client meeting and someone's telling you, I want to plan a sports themed mitzvah, something really specific. And you know that you've done exactly that type of event. And you know you have the perfect photo to show them on how you would be able to execute on this vision for them. You can now pull that photo up in 2 seconds and show them what you can do so that they can trust your expertise in this area. And we make it easy for you.
What
So
I
with that,
found being in many of these meetings as a client, and when I'm asking for ideas, a lot of times there's a fumbling, and like sometimes people get their iPhone out, like I know I have that photo, but it's rare that someone's like, I'm gonna go to my Dropbox and dig in 6 folders deep to find that photo. And then when it's a new employee at the venue, they don't know where those photos are. So what should be kind of an elegant, this is hospitality, and this is, such a service focused industry. I found the clumsiness of the photo sharing. It doesn't need to be that way. And so I'm really excited for when I've experienced it to really change the conversation and the flow of the conversation.
for sure. And time is always of the essence. And Julia, I've even seen it before where you're trying to find the photo in that meeting and it's so hard. You put it aside and you continue the conversation. And afterwards you have to do the follow-up, but you're not able to actually pull that photo live in that conversation with someone and actually capture them on the spot with what you're talking about.
Yes.
So let's see how all this works.
Yeah. So I thought, Lillian, when we showed this demo, there's some new people on the Zoom that are not as familiar with PartySlate. So if you'll humor me, let's start with Google, which actually makes me nervous when I do a live Google search. But let's say, we recently had our user conference in New York. We had about 400 or 500 people there. Let's say I'm looking for a top venue in New York. So I Google top venues in New York or New York City. And fortunately, all our investments in SEO, right below the paid ads, which many people search through, we are typically 1 or 2. So in this case, we're the first organic search result. Once you click in here, this is a directory. Many companies have directories. We know who's out there. This is a really elevated directory. As I start looking through New York venues, let's say I'm looking for a luxury hotel and the plaza catches my eye. So I could go into typically what people do is they go into 3 or 4 or 5 different venue profile pages. They've been on your Instagram, they've been in your website, they're triangulating, could I picture working, could I have my corporate event at this venue? And the first thing that people do, and we've researched this a lot, is they want to look at your event spaces. So in the event spaces, they can scroll through. This is the only platform where you can have a unique album with information about that event space, even your boardroom meetings, your conference rooms, your ballrooms, your restaurants, all of that can go through there. The next thing they do, and they spend the most time, is they look at your gallery. Our links to our gallery is the most time people spend the most time in gallery. And if you scroll up a little, you can see weddings, galas, birthdays, corporate events, conferences. Let's say I wanted to look at just corporate events. I can go into the corporate events section and I can dig into some of these events and see if this connects to me. We have found that people like to look at other types of events, even if it isn't their event type. And once they go into this, is that famous Sonal Shaw anniversary party, I believe, at the plaza. And again, you can see the whole story from the beginning of the night, the setup to the end of the night. This is really a storytelling platform. So, as a reminder, this is the front of house application. So, going back to the profile page, they look at the types of events. So, the Plaza has 83. By the way, they didn't post 83 events. Some of them are theirs, but many other planners have credited them. And so it automatically shows up on their page. After the gallery, and I know I'm going fast, so if anyone has questions, let me know. People do like to see testimonials. And this is where you can handpick testimonials, notes, emails that you've gotten, and place them here. You can also connect them to the actual event that they hosted. And then finally, they go to vendor connections. So let's say the Plaza is right for them. They're looking for a planner. So there's 28 planners that are almost on the preferred list. It's not an official preferred list, but it's a list of planners that have done events, have produced events at the Plaza. And you can start seeing some Amy Katz, Sonal Shah, David Jutera, others that have a lot of events, and you can actually see those events. So again, content is such a valuable marketing tool. You can actually see Amy Katz's Plaza events right here and click through to that if you're interested. So I kind of went fast because the goal of today is not to go, I could spend an hour on the front of house, the public page. What I'm excited about now is to go into picture this, the VIP room, and only back of house people are invited that work at your company. So no longer can Julie, who's planning a corporate event, link in. Only you can see this navigation to access your pro features. Did I miss
Yeah.
anything, Lillian and Lauren?
No, that was
No, that was
perfect,
great.
Lily.
Okay. Okay, great.
So let's talk about the back of house. So what are those features that are just built specifically for your team? So on this right-hand side, you'll see access your pro features, and you can click and do a variety of things. I want to focus today on search my photos. So organizing, tagging, all of that, it's such a pain. With search, you don't have to organize or tag anymore. Let's say we're the Plaza. And let's say someone is on a venue tour and they're talking about different aisle setups. They really want to envision what their wedding could look like at the Plaza. I can now pull up search and share, and I'll type in aisle as an example. Now, every single aisle photo that's on PartySlate is pulled up. How is the
And Lillian, they did not tag these photos.
No.
AI tagged all of these photos and they magically appeared when you just did that.
Exactly. I was literally going to say, how do we know that all of these are aisles? There's no tagging, there's no folder sorting, there's no special album that's called aisle. This is AI that essentially looks at your photo and can see that these are aisle photos. And
Just for fun, before you share here, let's say it's Valentine's Day and you want a red photo. And you're like, I know that Sonal Shah event was kind of red, but I can't think of where it is. There's a new social media person, and you type in red, it's going to, with image recognition, find red photos or photos that have reds. Is it 100% perfect? No, like the Heineken sign, there's a little red in it. Maybe you're not going to share that, but like this would be a great example of it's Valentine's Day. Maybe Lillian, let's share one of these to social media because I know this could be a use case that you're looking for a red photo and you want to share it. Let's show how easy it is for the social team to share.
for sure.
We just got a great question, and it's to clarify even further how little work you all have to do because AI does it for you. Lillian, how important is it for these guys on this call to describe their photos so AI can find it for them?
You don't have to describe anything.
Yeah.
You could upload a photo with no information at all attached to it. You're not describing, you're not tagging, you're not writing in, this is a red photo or, red roses, for example. It's literally all powered by AI on the back end.
Yeah, so it's using something called computer vision. And again, if you were to ask me exactly how it works, I would not be able to tell you that. But the computer AI, let's picture them as 100,000 bots, and they're just looking at every photo. They can recognize a cake. They can recognize a piece of shrimp. They can recognize a chandelier. So the old days of SEO alt tagging your photos are over. You should no longer have an intern working on these things because AI has disrupted that task in a positive way so that you can actually get everything you need through compute. What we have trained the AI bots to look at are what is in this photo for the events industry. So if you put in charger, charger plates are going to come up, not a iPhone charger. Like it can see that
That's
these
my
are
favorite
chargers.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think there's another question, and this is a great question and something AI is always evolving. Our team is always evolving. Is can AI tell which event space or which room those photos are in, or is it more about the inspiration and what's actually physically in the photo that AI can see?
So it is about what's physically in the photo that it can see. But let's take, for example, maybe ballroom, right? There's one big ballroom at the plaza. It can see and it can understand that these are photos of ballrooms. And you're not tagging again. You're not having to go back in to say what this is. It is visual though. And so it's
Yeah.
looking visually at the photo to recognize that this is a ballroom photo.
If you have an event space that's called the Berkshire Room, as an example, will AI know that? Probably not. But if you describe what the event space is like a garden terrace, which the plaza does not have, or ballroom, like Lillian just said, it is really smart in recognizing what type of event space there is.
And one thing I'll note about the Berkshire Room, the way you actually label your event albums in your private photo library, you can actually, we are thinking about building something that ties it to a specific event space, but you can, in the album name, if you click album name where
Right
there's a
now.
filter, you actually can name the room that it's in. And so instead of saying, if you scroll inside the dazzling SNL 50 in the Plaza
Oh,
Ballroom, you know,
you exactly. You
Yeah.
you can name this anything that you wanted to. And so if you know that this was at the ballroom or this was at a different room, you could always name the album with what it is. And if I were to type ballroom in here, it would only pull up the albums that have the word ballroom in the album title. But
Great
to Julie's
questions.
point, our product team is always thinking about different ways that we can iterate on this and try and make it as useful as possible. And so there are a bunch of ideas that they have right now to try and make it possible.
And we are going to ask you in a little bit what you'd like us to build next. So keep those ideas in mind.
But I do want to show a few other features within social media and on how you could actually share this out. So let's say, for example, I'll go back to aisles again.
sure.
So let's say I have an aisle and I want to share one of these on social media. If I click on the photo, it will expand to be larger. You can always download the photo, and that'll download a high res version of the image that you can post. So there's not going to be any quality issues. And then when you click on handles and hashtags, what's really cool is that when you put your album onto the PartySlate and you include who else worked on this event with you, all of that saves down into PartySlate and we will automatically pull in all of the Instagram handles for you right here. And then when it comes to hashtags, if you click on generate, give it a minute. It's just, all these hashtags are generated also based on AI. So it's AI powered based on what it knows about the photo and based on what it knows is trending. And you can click copy all and that'll automatically copy all this down for you. So it makes what used to take maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes to make a social media post. It just makes it that much faster because honestly, identifying the photo and then finding the credits and then coming up with the hashtags, it's a process.
Yeah.
So that just took 2 seconds to do that.
And
And we know
you can do it on your phone too. So if you want to post right
Yeah.
from your phone, but I found posting on Instagram through your desktop is actually easier to do because you have all those credits. Sometimes I find myself texting myself the credits. Like it's so many steps to do it. And again, if you have a social media person, we can give them a free login, permissions to actually access this. Or if you do it yourself, this will save you, I mean, 30, 35 minutes per post.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. And then let's do another example. Let's say you are on that venue tour. You've showed your client a bunch of these different aisle setups that they might want to see. And then after the tour, though, you want to send them a follow-up email and actually share with them all the photos that you just showed them live. So what
Just
you
for
can
fun, just for fun to do another search. Well, try staircase. There's a kind of a famous, in the plaza staircase where they take a lot of photos and they want to see that. So again, we did not put staircase. We did not tag any of these photos. Thank you, Sue, for saying mind blown. I feel the same way. Yes, this is crazy that 2 years ago, this would not have been possible without AI innovation. So like the staircase, if someone's like, I want to think about how we can do decor or floral on the staircase. And in seconds, you can actually share these either on social media or actually share it with a client. Maybe you can show the share feature.
Yeah, I mean, it is really incredible, Julie. I think that what previously, in order to pull all these, you'd have to identify this was a wedding that we had done in 2023. Click on your 2023 folder, remember the couple's name, click on that folder, and then you're still searching through those 500 photos to find that staircase photo. This took 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to share this with someone. When you click at the top left, there's this button that says select photos to share, or if you hover, you'll notice there's a little check mark, but I'll just click that. You now have an ability to select whatever photos you want to share. So maybe they're really focused on how do you do decor for the staircase. And maybe there's a few examples of really
There's candles.
beautiful.
Put a candle in there.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
candles.
they're all beautiful.
I mean, these are all just really cool.
And like if I'm, this is obviously of a couple getting married. If I am part of a couple getting married, you want to see a lot of options. You want to see what you could do and what your event could look like in this space. So it really gives you such an easy opportunity to share tons of work that you've done and tons of examples to show your range of work as well.
Exactly. So now I'll click share. At the very bottom, there's that white button, and I'll put in staircase decor examples. I'll create a share link. And just like that, that took less than a minute, maybe 30 seconds, 2 seconds. It created a share link. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'll click preview for you. So now this is a beautifully branded page. It'll say your business name at the top with your logo at the top as well. It's really clean. There's nothing else that distracts from the photos that are on the page. When you click it, it shows it larger. People can click through.
That's another thing I like. Like, let's say you don't even want to share it, but you're having a meeting coming up and you want to save some photos. This is like a little, it's not like a mood board that you guys create with, different colors and swatches, but it's just a simple way to create a collection and then go through this what do they call it? The Lightroom type view, light box view of all the photos you saved. So
I love
really
this.
think that this is so much more elegant than I think it's on my iPhone or I think it's in my iPad. Yeah.
It's so professional looking. It's something that I would be really proud of to show anyone.
And you can text this link, you can email this link, you can WhatsApp this link for those of you in Bora Bora. So it's really so easy to share it however you want and however works for you and your clients.
Exactly.
And let us know if you have any questions. We do have one question about, can you do an example of getting ready for an Instagram post? Do you mind if we share one of these beautiful staircases directly to Instagram, Lillian, and show what it looks like?
Yeah. So let's say I download this photo.
It's so beautiful. It almost looks like AI.
I know.
It's real.
I'm going to click on handles and hashtags, and I'll click generate for hashtags.
And we know sometimes you don't use hashtags. We just want to give you all the tools that you could possibly need to generate a post.
Exactly. And you can always copy just the Instagram handles up in this top right corner or just the hashtags. But for this example, I'm going to do copy all. And then I am going to go to,
not to put you on someone asked, but let's just open an Instagram tab and we can go right to how it works. Because a couple of people have said, I'm only used to doing this on my phone, and how do I do it on my laptop? How do I save time? So if we go to a new tab, we can go right to Instagram.
Yeah, let me figure out. So the screen sharing version of my web browser is, give me 1 second.
And I think while Lillian's navigating to that, we're getting a couple more questions. Is there a limit of how many photos you can upload? And then a really fast follow of a great comment. So no, there is no limit. In fact, the more the better. And someone just said the more galleries you create on PartySlate, the easier your life will be. I would like to screenshot that and use it in all of our marketing because that's absolutely true. The more content you add into your private photo library, and remember, it is private. The easier it'll be when you're looking for that perfect photo. Everything will be there. You don't even have to think about it, and you can find anything you need for Instagram or otherwise.
Exactly. So we're on Instagram right now. And I'll click on the left-hand side, click create a post. I'm not actually going to post this because Lauren's marketing team would get really mad at me.
Although it is a beautiful photo, but we'll save it for later.
It is a beautiful photo. So I'm going to select from computer, and I downloaded that beautiful photo.
And it might be a little slow because we're on a webinar, but normally it would not be. And we're getting a couple more questions. All the photos getting the data, how do all the vendors get that data? I think this is probably referring to that network connections, the different partner credits. It's not manual at all. In fact, once you put the credits in, which is a little bit manual, you need to specify who you actually participate or partnered with. Then it automatically appears on your vendor partners profile pages, which is really incredible.
And we'll show that actually just to reinforce how the credits work on PartySlate. I wish AI could imagine that, Birch Event Design was doing something, but not yet. So you do have
Not
to
yet.
answer your credits, but if you're credited, it's already done for you, which is a great time saver. So
Exactly. So how long did that take me? That
And the
took me
time it took me to explain the answer to that question,
Exactly.
you had gotten a post ready.
it was under a minute.
before you go off of this, so just really
Yep.
quickly, so what Lillian did is she downloaded the photo, she went to post it, and she copied from her clipboard all of those credits and hashtags that took 1 second to create. If there is
Exactly.
a vendor or a partner that doesn't have an Instagram handle, it will just say the name of the company. And as long as you give them, the name of the company, it's fine. You just want to make sure you have the planner, the photographer, the venue. And if you want to manually add those, we're getting more and more of them every single week, but we probably have 90% of the core Instagram handles stored in PartySlate.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yep.
So we'll get to as many questions as we can. And I think there's one more section maybe that we wanted to share, but we do want to get to what we're building next and also get input from everybody on this webinar as well.
So Lillian, yeah, before we jump out of this,
Yeah.
Lillian, I do want to show the private, the content library. So if you go to the private photo library, yes, you can use search and share, but I also want you to look at the event albums. You do have that typical view of all of your event albums. And let's say you have someone coming in and you go to event type at the top and you just want to show weddings. You can click on weddings and all your weddings will show up. And this is another great way when you know it's in here. You don't have to always search. You can also filter. And another thing that's kind of fun is if you wanted to know, like go to partners, I want to show that I've worked with, I don't know, you pick someone. Let's say, yeah, make it happen. David Landgraf. Then all of those, it will take a second, but it'll show up. All of the David Landgraf events at the plaza will show up. So it's just another ways to filter and search and share on your content. So you can also do date range. I know it was last summer. It will help you filter all your albums and make it super easy for you to find that album versus folder within folder within folder within folder in your Dropbox.
And this is housing all of your content that's on PartySlate, whether it's private or public. And so the Plaza here, for example, they do have some albums that are just on PartySlate for private storage. So it may not be fully visible on their public profile, but we have, everything here is included. So it's an all comprehensive view of everything that you have.
And we're getting a couple really great questions that are actually a perfect segue for what's going to come next. But are we able to search multiple elements and add to the same shareable album, or does each element's album need to be shared? Is this our head of product behind the scenes asking this question?
What a great question.
Great question.
What a great tee up.
So that's actually coming very soon. And if you want, we would love to hear from you how you would love to be able to search and share. But that specific idea is coming very shortly. And then there's one more question about our Instagram being able to integrate with other social media management tools. That is a great idea. And we would love to hear if that is something you would like us to build in terms of future integration. So both great questions.
What I will say, the social media consultants that are using this today, and like, let's say they have a sketchogram, or I don't even know, what do we use, Lauren, for ours?
We use Later.
Later.
This particular question was about Planly, which is another great one. There's so many out there.
So what you can do is you can find the photos and the credits and drop it in 2 seconds into your planning schedule. So that saves the 30 minutes of structuring the credits and finding that perfect photo. But we have talked about integration with those tools.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, let us know, like I said, if you have any questions on the front of house, the back of house, there's a lot there and a lot more to come that Lauren's going to share too. And if you've seen all this and you want to know, how do I get access to all these new tools with literally one click of a finger, there is a way where you can create a quick shortcut for PartySlate directly on your iPhone or directly on your iPad, if that's what you use. So we will, after this webinar, follow up with a link that has clear instructions on how you can do it. And it'll look exactly like this, where it'll be almost like an app on your phone. You click it, it'll take you directly to search. So you can pull up those photos in 2 seconds in the middle of the meeting, in the middle of the venue tour.
It's super easy. So in our follow-up emails, we'll make sure to share a link with a video about exactly how to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, when I see people doing these tours, having it one click away is really important because you don't want to fumble and like where I got oh, I'm not logged into PartySlate or not this. So what I've found from the very beginning, even when it was just the public profile page, is on your iPhone, there's that little link at the bottom with the arrow pointing up. And I feel like it's kind of a hidden feature. So
Yeah.
you're on that page, like search and share, or you're on your PartySlate Pro homepage. I actually recommend going to the search and share page directly. I think that's easier. This is the lobby of PartySlate Pro. So you're on that search and share page. You click that, up icon, and then all you have to do is click add to home screen. And I know this goes without saying, this isn't just for PartySlate, it's for all your favorite websites. If you want to, this isn't a feature we built. If you want a shortcut and there's not an app, a lot of people are moving away from apps. This is a mobile web optimized application for searching and sharing all your content. And it takes 2 seconds to do this.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. With that, Lauren, do you want to share what's next?
So many great things that we shared today, but there's even more coming. So today we're actually going to talk about a couple integrations that are coming with what we believe are some of your favorite tools. That question about, variations of search and share. Can you, add multiple different searches to the same, shareable photo page? Yes, is the answer. That's coming as well. So if you have questions about other ideas, keep them for just a couple more minutes because we're really curious what you guys would like us to build. But first, if we go to the next slide, so PartySlate uses Canva. We were actually just talking about it in the office. It's a favorite tool, in general, but we know specifically to this industry. We know it can be so tedious to download the photos, re-upload it to tools that you might want to use, and create those proposals and graphics. This is coming very soon, and your photos will literally appear as a result of having a PartySlate app within Canva. And you can literally drag and drop to create these beautiful branded proposals, different graphics, easier for you to create those materials and help you work directly with your clients. My favorite thing coming soon. And we know many of you are excited about this as well.
So um, the marketplace like Canva has built, we integrate with. So you're in Canva and you click that, and all of your photos on PartySlate in your private library can be accessed and searched in seconds and pulled into a social media graphic, into a proposal, or you can have many, but we're really in. We want more.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the experience is exactly the same as what we just showed you on that back of house side, where it's all AI empowered as well.
And I think the comment from before that I'm just going to reference forever, so was the more galleries so as we do these integrated content that you add to PartySlate to that private photo library, we'll then and it's like content. So you're really ready to take advantage of these integrations.
Amy really geeky about this, and we just know how creative this industry is, where many give up weekends and nights. And if we can make your marketing and your proposals just a little bit, guys. So this is something to us that we help you not only, grow your business and build your brand, but save you time and help you do a little bit higher quality, a little more seamless around your content. And so we're really excited about this.
So if we go to the next one, this is another exciting one. So we know many of you venues on the webinar use Triple Seat to manage your leads, and we just want to make it easier. We want to save your team time. We want to improve ROI transparency. This interview is going, we're going to test. And we imagine that test going very well, and then really unleashing this for all of our venues, and for all of our customers to really take advantage of this. So Lillian, you talk to customers literally every single day. How many venues would you say use triple seat or something like triple seat that may come next? So and more. So with that, we really want to hear from you. Some of our best ideas, I would say probably all of our best ideas, come from your suggestions, come from this industry and things that you want us to build. So this is actually going to be stored privately. So this is not going to be displayed on the screen. But if you could take out your phones one last time, we're going to stay here for a couple minutes actually and let you scan this QR code. Share any and all ideas with us. This is an open-ended question. Again, we're going to store this privately. Nobody else will see this. And there are no crazy ideas. Truly, some of the best ideas have come from what people probably thought was a little crazy, but they end up being super valuable and some of our most used features. So go ahead and scan this. We'll stay up here for just a minute, and let you share some of your favorite ideas with us. Nothing's off the table, please.
And maybe we
Yeah,
can
I
use,
mean,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Julie.
I was just going to say, one of the ideas that came up earlier is, literally next on our roadmap, which is build a collection that can be saved of photos. So let's say it was, wedding cakes or it was staircase, but you wanted to do multiple searches. If you think about it like on your iPhone, when you're creating an album where you can do a bunch of searches and add photos, that is something that's coming next, which is really exciting to take sharing to the next level and organizing your content.
Yeah, I think that's such a perfect example. We just shared two integrations with you guys. There are really thousands, and it's becoming easier by the day to integrate with these tools. Canva and Triple Seat are just two of them. So we're really, what future iterations of those tools would you like to see? And maybe there are some things we haven't even thought of that you are just really hoping that we come out with next. So we'll stay here for a couple more seconds. And if you don't have a chance to submit, you can always email us in our follow-up emails and share all those ideas with us as well too.
I think all of our best ideas come from our customers and our industry professionals that we work with. So I'm really excited to see what people say.
We got a great question. Does it work with video too? So I would imagine it means, all of the tools we shared today are really photo based. Can you do these with videos? And I think this is something our product team thinks about all the time. It's something that we talk a lot about. So video is, we know, so crucial to this industry, both from videographers, reels that you create on your own for social media. So it's something that we're thinking really seriously about next. And
So
yes, we
today
will
for video,
record
you can link from Vimeo, YouTube on your public profile, so front of house. We haven't yet gotten to the back of house piece, but it is on our minds, and we really feel that the innovation happening with AI video recognition is in the earlier stages of development, but it's coming. It's like around the corner, and we're excited to see how we can have all of your creative content on PartySlate, starting with photos.
Amanda, we love that this made your life so much easier. That's our whole goal. So thank you for sharing that. And yes, we will be sharing a recording of this webinar. Please share it with your teams. We hope that that'll be very valuable. Okay, so I think let's move on. Again, if you didn't have a chance, please send us an email with all of your ideas. We wanted to share our next event is coming up. So our Midwest Summit is coming up on July 29th, like Julie mentioned at the beginning. We're going to have really amazing speakers on stage with actually the three of us are going to be joined by some of the most incredible event professionals in the Midwest, different panels, education. It's going to be at RPM Events, a really beautiful venue in Chicago that's right on the river. And then later that night, we're going to have a really fun cocktail party at the House of Blues, which is also right in that area. So please let us know if you'd like to join us. You can email events@partyslate.com. We would love to see you, and we would love to have you join us to find out what's next, even beyond this webinar for PartySlate.
And we do have hotel room blocks if you're coming from out of town, so we can give you all the information. And the goal of these summits are, yes, we want to provide networking, and there's a lot of it. Many people have said they've closed business and at PartySlate events, but we're also excited to share the new things that we're building and give you an update on what you've asked for and what's on the roadmap. So it's a combination of education, great speakers from the industry and from PartySlate, and a lot of networking.
a lot of networking. You'll have
Yeah.
every opportunity. So
Yeah.
so please let us know if you'd like to join. And then finally, I think that there was a lot of information that we shared today, and there's even more that we didn't have time to pack into this webinar today. So if you want to scan one more QR code, but we would love to just help you really get started with everything that we shared. If you're newer to PartySlate, our team can help you really optimize your profile page to just get started with the very basics. We can demo in more detail how all these tools work, and even explain membership options to you to really take advantage of everything that PartySlate has to offer. So if you would like, our team would love to partner with you and share more on a private call with you as well.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because people have asked me this before, we are what's called in marketplace and tech world a freemium model. We want to earn your trust. If you just want us to help you get a free profile started, we can do that. If you want us to unlock our tools and service and boosting in the directory, we can do that too. But there is a way to kind of try before you buy in just getting a free profile. You will get only 3 real events, but you will get started and you will get to understand kind of the PartySlate ecosystem. And even on this demo, we're happy to get you started with a free profile. I know many busy event professionals, even if they're starting with our middle package, which includes our photo posting service, really appreciate the support that comes from Lillian's team. And if you're one of those groups, we can go through the 3 packages that we offer. And we know there's many members. Thank you to our members that are on this webinar. And we're continuing to pack more value into your membership, but we really want to hear from you on what will help save you time, what will help you grow your business in new ways. We just want to learn from you.
We did get a question about our events, what else is coming up on the calendar. We're really excited to be able to offer our event attendance first to our customers, to our members. And then, when we're able to, we do open it up to others in the area and nationwide. We're working on getting, all sorts of locations in the works. We're hoping to have Dallas, Miami. We're working on a couple other destination locations. So Christine, who's our head of events, is the most amazing, and she partners with some of the best event professionals in those markets. So we're really excited to share more as we know it. But we have Chicago coming up next in July.
Great.
And I think with that, we were able to answer some questions. Happy to be able to everything that's coming with, but there really is so much more. So, Julie and Lillian, anything else you wanted to add before we
I
wrap
would
up
just say,
today?
go to partyslate.com/pro, go to the pro area if you want to get started with a free profile. Sign up for a demo. You know where to find us. We'll send you a follow-up with the recording. You can
Mhm.
always respond to that if you're looking for help. But we really believe that content in this industry is really the currency for growth. Of course, you have to be great at what you do. Of course, referrals are 1, 2, and 3. But after they get a referral, they Google you, they chat GPT you. A lot of our traffic is coming from chat GPT now, which is amazing. And they're looking for something that sparks a connection. And we think the photos and the videos that you create are so powerful, and you're only using 1% of them. And again, Instagram is a great lean back, and it's a great tool where you're kind of like looking through for ideas. But when you're leaning forward and you're Googling or you're chat GPTing, more times than not, PartySlate's going to come up in the conversation. And when they see your profile page and it's not representing how great you are in the real world, we think it's a missed opportunity. So PartySlate isn't the only touch point, but let's say it's one of 7, one of 10 touch points. We want it to be the single best place that represents the great work that you do, the people you work with, their testimonials. And we want to help you create this kind of other portfolio sharing tool that complements your Instagram and complements your website.
I think that was a perfect way to end it. And we will have more of these webinars. We try and do, close to one every month to really help this industry and share knowledge, both internally, like we did today, and with some guest speakers. So more to come. And we're just so grateful you joined us. We know how busy you are, and we hope that this was helpful for everyone on the call.
And Lillian and Lauren, I do think you guys should have your own TV shows. When you guys did your panels at our speaking summits, I'm like, oh, they're so good on stage. So you make my life so much easier, just how organized you are and how great you are at answering these questions. So thank you to both of you for making the time to share not only what building, I'm really excited to continue to get feedback from our
I am
community.
too.
Me too. All right. Well, thank you, Julie, and thank you to everybody on the call. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.